Billy said Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech. Panty Anarchy said don't ping Mayor, it is forbidden.
Okay, I'm hitting 3 targets at the same time. We'll watch one. I do not drive, I just
Panty
auto.
Anarchy said good God, that's a terrible projectile speed. Panty Anarchy said tech is supposed to get better not worse. Billy said reckon I'll get a handful of volleys in that LOL. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said yeah, so looking at possibly 4? Panty Anarchy said don't think I ever want the hull now. Panty Anarchy said it's a fugly version of a flattened Reaper sub that got gutted and looks like something from a site I buy questionable things from @_at. Billy said yeah, easily I think. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said alien was at 75% PROJ speed and 50% reload and he had 4 to 5 volleys in the air each time. Billy said yeah, I'm 77% PROJ with 50% RL. Templar said so HBR over whatever the other special is. Templar said got it? Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said LOL.
I do gotta get that off there. That might go on my screen.
Billy said LOL. It does look a little appealing. I think I only need 3 volleys in the air for most splashable turrets or ships. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said putting HVR on is a bad idea BTW. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said been there. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said done that. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said LOL. Billy said although with the minus 120% building DMG loss, would it be the same? I dunno. Billy said yeah, I kinda think I can settle with slow projectile speed tbh. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said it's more than that. Panty Anarchy said I found the most satisfying video ever. Panty Anarchy said and it's French dubbed. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said it made the TTK go from OK to what TF. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said therefore causing more repairs cause the turret was firing for longer. Derpy the cow said HVR is good for antis, bad for mortars. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said yeah. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said HVR on the Gale ship. Derpy the cow said MDS3 needs PROJ speed. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said not the same level. Billy said yeah it's on my flag, the rest will stay as they are for now till I can see them ranked LOL. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I took off the EXP bat on my MDS3 build and put one of the 25% projectile speed specials on and that made them work. Derpy the cow said I'm planning on saving most of my tokens until pillage so I see what's in there. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said they don't even try fire at the huge missile though but I think that's because it requires sprint level of project speed. Derpy the cow said even on its super large arc. Derpy the cow said I feel like they should have time to intercept it. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said in theory they should yes. Derpy the cow said maybe it's just not counterable. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said it should be. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I think it's a case where the MDS doesn't want to fire because it knows it will trail behind the projectile and not catch up to it. Derpy the cow said well someone needs to smack it and tell it to trot. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I tried. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I smacked them into the HS. Billy said they said in the strat guide it's got a low level of counterability. Whatever that means as to what we can use I've no idea. I just avoid it till I can rush in and spread my ships out too. Billy said that's why I'm going the splash/spread build, cause I can take out most the back platform without being in its range. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said now I have Gales working to a decent degree and MDS working to a decent degree, I target the missile as a priority when possible. Derpy the cow said I did the math on survival BTW, having all F2X MVS none should be about a 34% reduction in damage. KRYSST said hurry up Derpy we counting on you LOL. Panty Anarchy said pretty soon we are going to need new countermeasures. Derpy the cow said I will be going slow. Derpy the cow said plus, fairly busy these days. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said could test to see how much of an area of splash it has. Could lead to possibly having a ship stick out in front and tank the splash. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said like my Crete fleet does. Billy said it's got prio. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said oh has it? Billy said yup yup. Billy said king killer, chases the highest hell. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said isn't that the gore saver? KRYSST said preets don't too extremely bad. KRYSST said main problem is the ice fields. Billy said so I spread the 5 out, it's got such a slow PROJ speed you've got half an hour to move em around. Derpy the cow said crocodile tiny cucumber finger underwear butt. Billy said both do mayor. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said rev. Derpy the cow said says so in the strategy guide slightly smiling face. Panty Anarchy said when pizza's on a bagel you can eat pizza anytime. KRYSST said think maybe hydrofoil can help preets? Derpy the cow said maybe. Derpy the cow said known bug. Derpy the cow said CS is looking at it. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said Derpy do you actually think I'd look at a strat guide? Derpy the cow said this one, yes. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I do things the fun way. KRYSST said just thinking that if preets don't get stuck in the ice fields they wouldn't be so bad. Derpy the cow said fair enough. Panty Anarchy said mayor totally looked. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I have no reason to look. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I can go into a Target and find out for myself. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said it's not hard to do. Billy said I like the start guides, kinda like being prepared but testing other things out anyway sorta thing.
This is the 15th, and I took my pills for the 15th, so I'm okay for 15th.
Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I find it takes the fun away for me. Mayor. Crocodile pinching hand cucumber backhand index pointing right brief speech said I like to learn based on experience rather than being told LOL. Panty Anarchy said cough okay cough who this cough is murder. Billy said I overlook things way too often, so the nuggets of info in the strat guides just make life easier. LOL. Panty Anarchy said chicken nuggets? Laredo Judge Dredd said deep fried gator nuggets. Billy said I wouldn't have spread my fleet out for the big missile had I not read it for instance.
Now what? Is he the only one that lost stuff? What can I do? I can't give him back his BBs. Or I can't give him back his money. Well, we had an issue on 7/13. You can go ahead and figure out what you owe him and just give him what he's lost. But give him max level whatever he lost. Tell him to make you a list. Tell him we cannot
Country Girl 4 said damage plan.
Did he permanently leave Discord?
He left the Discord.
Totally?
Yes.
Well, then don't worry about it, I guess. Ain't nothing we can do. That or he might come back. You're not going to be able, you can only give him max level now. So whatever he lost, you give him level, whatever, 350 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if he lost 10 Rex, you give him 10 Rex at level 350. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? You can't make him higher than that, though. Well, you know what? He complains a lot, doesn't he? Mel, don't worry about it. If he left, he left. He's not going to get a refund. There's no way he can really get a refund because it's donated money. Remember how, Howard, you had problems getting a donate refund? He ain't going to be able to get it back. It's just gone. So don't chase after him, okay? But don't go delete it. Hey, do not delete his stuff, though. Let it sit for several months. If he doesn't come back after like 6 or 7 months, you can reply to it one more time. Are you sure you're done? And if he doesn't respond or doesn't come back, then contact Avatar and then see what he wants to. The final status, okay?
Hey, let's talk to Rain real quick, see if he's on though. Because Rain is his primate.
Yeah, Rain will probably take over everything he owns. Or you think he will go with him? I told him to PM you though because the only reason I'm doing it is because he is a donator. If this was a non-donator, I would not have you know, It'd be like, well, arc bugs, what can we do? So if he starts back charging, you know what LeBar's gonna do, right? She's gonna probably fucking close the service. She's gonna say, fuck this shit, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Did it roll back again since yesterday?
I don't think it did, but hang on a second.
I want to know if it rolled back since the 13th or whatever. That's what I want to know. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't you guys go to his base or somebody's base and put a bunch of shit in the cryopods?
No. Fixed it. And this wasn't damaged, it was full.
Okay. You know what? I think Avatar was kind of getting tired of him. You know that? You know what I'm saying? You remember Avatar saying something about him before in the past, right? I'm going to put something in the admin section. to know Ark is buggy. Period. But don't chase after him, okay, Mel? Yep, if he wants to go, he wants to go. That's fine. He thinks another server's going to be better? Fine, let him try. I'm sure they're going to have problems too eventually. Like I said, he could have had 20 animals. I would have let you replace, but you would have had to only give him at regular level. But if he's gone, he's gone. You don't have to worry about it. But I did post LaBar so she knows. Be aware of maybe a chargeback. But I don't think you'll. I think you'll have too much problem doing that. When you donate shit, it is considered a donation. I ain't gonna worry about it, Mel.
No, I'm just trying to get a hold of Rain, Mom.
Don't worry. You know, Rain has a problem. Rain will get a hold of us. But if Damage Plan does leave, you can give Rain the tribe. But not yet. You have to give him you have to give him time to see if he's gonna come back or not. You know what I'm saying?
They're both just getting tried, Mom.
Yeah.
I just want to get a hold of him just to tell him what's going on because he probably does not know what's going on.
Yeah, well, he can find out later. Don't worry about it now.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. I'll let you handle it. Not so. Yeah, just let me know if Bar responds back or Avatar, okay? But not if I'm asleep. If I'm asleep, you'll just have to tell them while I'm sleeping. But I can't refund no money. I ain't got it. It all went into the server. It didn't go into me. Hello?
Hey,
What's up, Mom?
I'm looking at you, but I can't see you. There you are.
What's up?
Okay,
Whoa.
that's better. You're in a green shirt.
Yeah. I took a shower not too long ago.
Were you sleeping?
No, I took a shower and I'm playing a Battle Pirates game for a little bit until my hair dries.
Oh, you just got through taking a shower?
Yeah.
Oh. That's a green shirt?
Well, yellow. Kind of yellow.
Ah, looks green. Maybe it's the lighting.
Might be.
Uh,
How you doing?
so what are you doing? What are you doing tonight?
That. Playing a game.
Huh?
Playing a game.
Oh, playing a game on the computer?
Yeah. And then probably after a little while, I'll probably go to sleep.
Yeah. I'll probably go to sleep here. I just talked to my brother Bob, and he's headed off to the espresso to take care of it.
What's that?
I talked to Daddy earlier.
What's espresso?
His espresso. His cappuccino place.
Oh. I'm like, okay.
He's got his bar and he's got his espresso, but his bar isn't open because of the COVID-19.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit going on right now. That COVID. There's a lot of fake ones too. I want to see what happens with this thing. A guy said he ordered 50 COVID tests, ones that you can take yourself and get results. He said he ordered some of those COVID tests, COVID-19 tests. He ordered some for his workplace. They're instant result types. He's gonna do some fake tests with them and then just see what the results are on. He wants to see how accurate they are, because he's seeing all these like 100%, 200%, and then found out those places are fake. He says he wants to test some swabs himself and do some fake tests and see if any of them come out positive.
Fake COVID tests?
No, he bought some real COVID tests, but he's going to do some fake tests with them to see if they come out positive still. Because he wants to find out what is going on, why there's so many swabs coming out positive. Because he's heard other things that some nurse sent in a swab that was never used for a test. She put a fake name on it and it came back positive. And she's like, "What's going on here? It was never used."
This is on Facebook?
Yeah. No, well, there was a one on Facebook. I don't know where it's at now. But another guy said he wants to find out what's going on. So I guess, if you have a business, you're allowed to order some for your employees, so you can take tests off your employees, but they're like instant, what they call instant swab tests. You know, you can find out instantly if they're positive or negative. So he ordered some of those, and he says he's going to do some fake tests with them just to see if they come out positive or negative. He's not even going to use them on employees. He's gonna like lay one on a table or something, and then he's gonna put one directly in the solution to see if one that's never been used for anything, to see if it comes out positive. He just wants to see if any of these
Anger symbol
swabs
purple heart skull and
that have
crossbones
never
skull
been
and
used or
crossbones
used for
purple
fake
heart
tests
anger
to see
symbol
if any
said
of them
now
come
I'm
out
getting
positive,
angry
because
by the
he's
minute.
hearing some about things that are never been used that are coming out positive. He wants to test himself. So I guess he says that his next video will be on the results that he gets. So I'm waiting on the results. I'm waiting for his next video.
Where are these things coming from? Are they coming from China?
I don't know where they're getting them from. I have no idea where they're getting them from.
Bonebread said this is why you
But
don't
it's
do drugs.
crazy. But it's
Are there a lot in your area?
no, not in our
A lot
area.
of positive in area?
No, only a couple. There's only like a couple.
No deaths?
No.
That's weird. So there's no deaths here either.
Mom, there's a lot going on that's crazy. I'm gonna show you something. I don't know, if I can find it. The Democrats are trying to destroy the United States. You do know that, right? I don't know if you know it, but I know you're a Democrat, but you're not trying to destroy it. But the ones that are in office, are trying to destroy it.
I'm trying to get to Facebook so I can follow.
Well, I'm going to show you something here. I'm just going to show you what the Democrats are for. Not necessarily you, because there are some nice Democrats out there that are actually voting Republican this year because they do not like what's going on. All these riots and babies getting killed and stuff are all in Democratic cities, Mom. These babies getting killed, like the 1-year-old, they're all in Democratic cities. None of them are in Republican cities. None of them.
Where's this at?
All these kids getting killed and stuff, like in New York and Seattle. But let me show you something here. This I'm just gonna do a thing here. The Democrat Party versus the Republican Party. I wouldn't show that to Betty because she'd probably get mad. But
Under at CNN.
No, I'm not looking at any channels, Mom. I just sent something directly to your messenger. I don't know where the video is right now. I'm waiting for it to come back up when he's ready for the next one. But let me show you a guy here. Give me a moment. In Virginia, they were caught cheating. Many were caught cheating in Virginia, and many were arrested in Virginia for here, just a minute. A lot of the Democrats are very corrupt. So a lot of them are very corrupt. I'm sending it directly to your messenger, so you can see it from your messenger. Democrat mayor, wire fraud. I'm going to show you something else. Give me a moment. Antifa members are part of the Democrat Party. They're kids. They're kids. Democrat Party.
Democrat mayor and wife.
And then, there's just so many things with the Democrat Party.
Oh, here, Democrat mayor and wife indicted on 14 counts of wire fraud in Mississippi.
That's in Mississippi. There's some stuff about, if I can find it here, there's just so much stuff. The Democrats are allowing all the statues to be torn down. And that's part of history, and they're not offensive. They're making Washington Redskins change their name because they say it's offensive. It's so crazy. They're wanting us to defund the police. So if you have help and you have someone burglarizing your house, the police might not come. They might say, well, let them have whatever's in your house, let them burn your house, whatever. The Democrat Party's saying, yeah, let them go ahead and do it. But yet they got private security. It's just crazy. This world is crazy. Huh? Now, I'm looking. Oh, see here. I'm looking. Black Lives Matter? The Democrats are funding Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter has been killing kids. but they've been even killing their own kind. And so it's like Black Lives Matter really doesn't matter because they're killing their own. Here's a couple in St. Louis, Missouri, who was defending their home with AR-15s, and they got their guns taken away because it's a gated community. You know what a gated community is, right? It's got a private gate, and if you break down the gate, you're trespassing, right? A gated community.
I can't see it.
Okay, I just sent one to you. Local gun owner offers store owners gun, but they got their guns confiscated. That couple that I just posted to you, because they were trying to protect their home from a bunch of Antifa people who were trying to break in, and they threatened to kill their dog and kill them and burn their home down. And so they were protecting their home with guns, and now the mayor, who is a Democrat mayor, confiscated their guns and is going to try to prosecute them. Trump is trying to protect them. Trump is like, no, you cannot be prosecuted. They were protecting their home. They had a right. The home is their castle. They had a right to protect that. And once they broke down that gate to come into their property, they had a right to defend their home. And that's in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. And the mayor's trying to say they didn't have a right to defend their home. No, they have a right to defend their home. So it's just, Mom, the world is crazy. Oh, here's one. I'm going to show you this one. A guy was recording this, and this is the St. Louis mayor telling the cops.
All the skies. But they won't put some paint on this thing. Y'all cannot arrest them. You need to call Dr. Pat, so they're going to do it. You can't stop it. This is city property.
This Senator Louise Lucas, by the way.
All right. They got it right. Go ahead.
Ma'am,
Yes?
you can't tell them to do that.
I'm telling you to call Dr. Pat, and I'm not telling them to do anything. I'm telling you you can't arrest them. Call Dr. Pat.
You can't arrest people for tearing down a statue. Or the Facebook statue.
It is city property.
The mayor should be arrested for that.
I've already talked to Dr. Pat, and the two councilmen, Vice Mayor Burke and Shannon Glover, on their way down here.
Your taxes too.
And somebody needs to call the press. Somebody call the channel 10.
You know? It is one of the statues. I don't know what statue it is, but still, they're not allowed there.
I think that's Burke. I think that's Lucas.
And the Democrats found the picture.
I would like for her to take her mask off.
I
but
don't think
can't
that's
tell her.
Senator Lucas.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
You don't think so?
No, she'd show us her face if that was Lucas.
Or maybe she wouldn't.
That is the mayor.
Lucas wouldn't do this. This is a very big coincidence.
Antifa is sponsored by the Democrats.
She's showing her face right now.
I just got to tell those the Vice Mayor and Shannon Glover on their way down here. Right now. This is city property. And John Rowe knows it. Dr. Patton knows it. And if they'd have listened to the Vice Mayor Shannon Glover when they introduced this thing to the city council in the first place, they could have put a tarp over this thing and all this would have been resolved. It wouldn't even have been necessary. So if the city had done what they were supposed to do, these citizens wouldn't have to do it. So there you go.
Thank you, Senator.
There's so much, there's just so much. I don't send everything to you because I don't want to
Cancel
drive you
culture
crazy with all
strikes
this
again.
stuff, but there's
Goya
just so
Food
much.
CEO is refusing to apologize in the face of a liberal boycott of his food company. They're angry after he said America was, quote, blessed to have a leader like President Trump. Take a look.
We are blessed to have
It's
a
suppression
president
of speech. In 2012, 8 years ago, I was called by Michelle Obama to Tampa, and I introduced in Hispanic Heritage Month President Obama. So you know, I'm not apologizing for saying, and especially if you're called by the President of the United States, you're going to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, no thank you. I didn't say that to the Obamas, and I didn't say that to President Trump.
Oh,
All right, Greg. So here we have a guy who's been
This
to the
is
White
gonna
House
make
with
you
Obama, White House with Trump.
And we believe
This
these are
time he
all
goes in
Democrats who are
support
not
of the
positive.
Hispanic initiative that provides access for education and entrepreneurial outreach. And he gives 2 million cans of food for those who are need it during this pandemic. Does the left hate Donald Trump so much that they don't want Hispanics to get help, or poor Americans who are suffering right now to get food?
okay.
Their hatred for Trump trumps their love for the poor. The best part about this story, one of the boycotters is Lin-Manuel Miranda, whose play Hamilton became a movie and is now under fire for glorifying a slaveholder. So it shows you what happens when you're threatened by the mob. You either fight back or you roll over. Miranda, full-fledged coward, rolled over and went after Goya Foods to save his own skin. But I have a perfect solution, which is courtesy of Scott Adams. Cancel culture works because it's one way. People can cancel you because they know where you work, but you can't cancel back because you don't know where they work. So we need mutually assured destruction, full transparency, where all the cancelers, we find out where they work, and so we can contact their companies and their bosses and ask them, hey, are you okay with your employee Doris Johnson trying to ruin a Hispanic-run company that feeds millions for free? So we need a company devoted to outing all the cancelers, because people don't punch you if you can punch back.
That's right. That's right. You get respect from them. But, you know, Dana, the CEO of Goya says, you know, this is suppression of my speech, and he's not backing down. What do you think?
No, well, first of all, Goya is an amazing company. The story of how that company was built over time is incredible. Plus, they have amazing products. What is also quite stunning is that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is one of the ones leading the charge on the boycott against Goya, but it was Goya that was the first to go into the New York boroughs after the coronavirus lockdown started, and to basically provide free food to everybody in those areas. So it is absurd, of course. The other thing is, though, when you are a CEO and you have 10,000 employees that are relying on you, you know, you can understand why people might be reticent to get involved in politics or to say something about politics. I admire him for not backing down, and I don't think that he regrets it for one instance. And it's just too bad that we have to clarify cancel culture on the backs of this company, which, by the way, again, I would say their products are excellent. I encourage everyone to go out and get some.
They are. Yeah, they are. Their chickpeas are great for hummus. All right, Jesse, listen, 36% the polls say Biden has 36 points over Trump with the Hispanic community. Does that make sense to you?
Well, from what I've heard, the president's making very strong inroads with the Hispanic community, and it's making up for some of his deficits in the suburbs with white women. So it's obviously too early to tell, but I just had a brilliant idea, maybe the only brilliant idea I've ever come up with on the show, and Greg kind of teed me up for it with about the mutually assured destruction thing. You know how you can buy carbon offsets if you're a polluter? You should just be able to buy cancel offsets, right? So, like, you could just get away with a lot more if you just pay the right people.
That's
anyway, this country
Jesse,
is
that's
too...
called, Jesse, that's called virtue signaling. That's why everybody virtue signals. That's their offset. They virtue signal, they give money, they do whatever they can so they don't get eaten by the crocodile, but they always do.
Okay, I didn't know you could virtual signal.
But that's also what Lin-Manuel Miranda did.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
but let me get to my non-brilliant point here. My non-brilliant point is this: this country is too fat to boycott a food company. Have you looked around? Like, do you think a boycott of a food company could last like 1 meal or 2 meals? I mean, this is delicious stuff. The taco kits from Goya. Unbelievable. I mean, this is a top 10 dinner item for most families. There's no way this thing's getting boycotted. And when you're a leader of a multi-billion-dollar company in this country, you have to be nice to Republicans. You have to be nice to Democrats because this country just wants to eat.
And he was.
And that's it.
He was. But Juan, I want to end this with you in terms of, look, the left is so focused on trashing people on the right that they don't care that the people that they presume to be on the right are helping poor people, hungry people, helping immigrants. Their hate is so dug in. I mean, are you comfortable with this? The right doesn't do this to Obama. And trust me, a lot of people on the right didn't like Obama. But this is like cancel him out, boycott him, make them lose their jobs. Aren't you uncomfortable with that?
I don't like boycotts, if that's what you're asking, Judge. But let me just say, we live in politically polarized times. And if you're talking about who likes division, President Trump's pushes buttons of division and polarization quite regularly. I think you'll remember he started his campaign by going after Latin immigrants. He said Mexicans were rapists and thieves. So I think, to your point, if people punch back, guess what? There are people who will.
No, he didn't.
There are people who will punch back from the other side.
You know
so. Of course he said, wait a second, of course he said rapist. He used the very word rapist, Judge. You don't want to hear it, but that's the truth. Look,
no, I don't.
I'll tell you what you guys can do.
And you know why? Because
you know what you guys can do. Here's what you can do, Judge.
And
Judge,
they say
hold on. You've had your say, Judge. Judge,
enough.
Is it so hard for you to listen? Come on, Judge. Judge.
Yeah,
here's the thing, Judge. You can have the opposite effect, which is, guess what? Lots of people who like President Trump can start buying Goya if that's what they want. Maybe they'll like rice and beans smothered in hot sauce. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, we live in politically polarized times, and we have a politically polarizing president.
Yeah, no, we don't. He doesn't push buttons. Batterers use that excuse all the time when they beat their wives, okay? I hate that term.
And I couldn't vote for my party.
Good evening from the Thomas and Mack Center at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. I'm Chris Wallace of Fox News.
After a few minutes of
and I welcome you to the
stepped out.
third and final of the 2016 presidential debates between Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and Donald J. Trump. This debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. The commission has designed the format, 6 roughly 15-minute segments with 2-minute answers to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment. Both campaigns have agreed to those rules.
He said,
for the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each topic. None of those questions has been shared with the commission or the 2 candidates. The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers, boos, or other interruptions so we and you can focus on what the candidates have to say. No noise except right now, as we welcome the Democratic nominee for president, Secretary Clinton, and the Republican nominee for president, Mr. Trump. Secretary Clinton, Mr. Trump, welcome. Let's get right to it. The first topic is the Supreme Court. You both talked briefly about the court in the last debate, but I want to drill down on this because the next president will almost certainly have at least 1 appointment and likely or possibly 2 or 3 appointments, which means that you will, in effect, determine the balance of the court for what could be the next quarter century. First of all, where do you want to see the court take the country? And secondly, what's your view on how the Constitution should be interpreted? Do the founders' words mean what they say, or is it a living document to be applied flexibly according to changing circumstances? In this segment, Secretary Clinton, you go first. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chris, and thanks to UNLV for hosting us. You know, I think when we talk about the Supreme Court, it really raises the central issue in this election, namely, what kind of country are we going to be? What kind of opportunities will we provide for our citizens? What kind of rights will Americans have? And I feel strongly that the Supreme Court needs to stand on the side of the American people, not on the side of the powerful corporations and the wealthy. For me, that means that we need a Supreme Court that will stand up on behalf of women's rights, on behalf of the rights of the LGBT community, that will stand up and say no to Citizens United, a decision that has undermined the election system in our country because of the way it permits dark, unaccountable money to come into our electoral system. I have major disagreements with my opponent about these issues and others that will be before the Supreme Court. But I feel that at this point in our country's history, it is important that we not reverse marriage equality, that we not reverse Roe v. Wade, that we stand up against Citizens United, we stand up for the rights of people in the workplace, that we stand up and basically say the Supreme Court should represent all of us. That's how I see the court, and the kind of people that I would be looking to nominate to the court would be in the great tradition of standing up to the powerful, standing up on behalf of our rights as Americans. And I look forward to having that opportunity. I would hope that the Senate would do its job and confirm the nominee that President Obama has sent to them. That's the way the Constitution fundamentally should operate. The President nominates, and then the Senate advises and consents or not, but they go forward with the process.
Secretary Clinton, thank you. Mr. Trump, same question. Where do you want to see the court take the country, and how do you believe the Constitution should be interpreted?
Well, first of all, it's great to be with you, and thank you, everybody. The Supreme Court, it's what it's all about. Our country is it's just so imperative that we have the right justices. Something happened recently where Justice Ginsburg made some very, very inappropriate statements toward me and toward a tremendous number of people, many, many millions of people that I represent, and she was forced to apologize, and apologize she did. But these were statements that should never, ever have been made. We need a Supreme Court that, in my opinion, is going to uphold the Second Amendment and all amendments, but the Second Amendment, which is under absolute siege. I believe if my opponent should win this race, which I truly don't think will happen, we will have a Second Amendment which will be a very, very small replica of what it is right now. But I feel that it's absolutely important that we uphold because of the fact that it is under such trauma. I feel that the justices that I am going to appoint, and I've named 20 of them, the justices that I'm going to appoint will be pro-life. They will have a conservative bent. They will be protecting the Second Amendment. They are great scholars in all cases, and they're people of tremendous respect. They will interpret the Constitution the way the founders wanted it interpreted, and I believe that's very, very important. I don't think we should have justices appointed that decide what they want to hear. It's all about the Constitution and so important, the Constitution the way it was meant to be. And those are the people that I will appoint.
Mr. Trump, thank you. We now have about 10 minutes for an open discussion. I want to focus on two issues that, in fact, by the justices that you name, could end up changing the existing law of the land. First is one that you mentioned, Mr. Trump, and that is guns. Secretary Clinton, you said last year, and let me quote, the Supreme Court is wrong on the Second Amendment. And now, in fact, in the 2008 Heller case, the court ruled that there is a constitutional right to bear arms, but a right that is reasonably limited. Those were the words of the judge, Antonin Scalia, who wrote the decision. What's wrong with that?
Well, first of all, I support the Second Amendment. I lived in Arkansas for 18 wonderful years. I represented upstate New York. I understand and respect the tradition of gun ownership. It goes back to the founding of our country. But I also believe that there can be and must be reasonable regulation. Because I support the Second Amendment doesn't mean that I want people who shouldn't have guns to be able to threaten you, kill you or members of your family. And so when I think about what we need to do, we have 33,000 people a year who die from guns. I think we need comprehensive background checks, need to close the online loophole, close the gun show loophole. There's other matters that I think are sensible, that are the kind of reforms that would make a difference, that are not in any way conflicting with the Second Amendment. You mentioned the Heller decision, and what I was saying that you referenced, Chris, was that I disagreed with the way the court applied the Second Amendment in that case, because what the District of Columbia was trying to do was to protect toddlers from guns. And so they wanted people with guns to safely store them. And the court didn't accept that reasonable regulation, but they've accepted many others. So I see no conflict between saving people's lives and defending the Second Amendment.
Let me bring Mr. Trump in here. The bipartisan open debate coalition got millions of votes on questions to ask here, and this was, in fact, one of the top questions that they got. How will you ensure the Second Amendment is protected? You just heard Secretary Clinton's answer. Does she persuade you that while you may disagree on regulation, that in fact she supports a Second Amendment right to bear arms?
Well, the D.C. versus Heller decision was very strongly, and she was extremely angry about it. I watched. I mean, she was very, very angry when upheld. And Justice Scalia was so involved, and it was a well-crafted decision. But Hillary was extremely upset, extremely angry, and people that believe in the Second Amendment and believe in it very strongly were very upset with what she had to say.
Well, let me bring in Secretary Clinton. Were you extremely upset?
Well, I was upset because, unfortunately, dozens of toddlers injure themselves, even kill people with guns, because, unfortunately, not everyone who has loaded guns in their homes takes appropriate precautions. But there's no doubt that I respect the Second Amendment, that I also believe there's an individual right to bear arms. That is not in conflict with sensible, common sense regulation. And, you know, look, I understand that Donald's been strongly supported by the NRA. The gun lobby's on his side. They're running millions of dollars of ads against me. And I regret that, because
I didn't know it was on me. I thought that was on your side. I was like, why am I listening to Hillary? I don't want to listen to her. Anyways, did you see some of the stuff that I gave you? This gal named Holly Sanders, she was going in to vote her Republican. And when she went in there, they was like, no, you're a registered Democrat. She's like, she's wearing the Trump hat. And she's like, no, I'm not registered Democrat. I am registered Republican. They said, no, you're not. And she's like, she says, somehow you got changed to Republican. And she's like, she heard another lady across the room saying, why can't I vote? She had her son with her. She's like, I'm trying to vote Republican, they won't let me. And I guess she overheard the other lady on the other side. It was basically the same thing she did. He goes, you know, same problem this gal's having. And she's like, wait a minute, I want to go talk to that guy over there, find out what's going on over there. She goes over there and she goes, I'm trying to vote Republican too. They won't let me, and I'm Republican. She goes, same thing happened to me. Somebody changed my stuff to Democrat, and I'm a Republican, and they won't let me vote. Democrats are cheating. No, some of the, yeah. I posted it on your Facebook, or your Facebook Messenger. It's called Holly Sanders. Happened to a gal in, I don't know where she's at, but Virginia was caught cheating too. A guy who I follow, his name is Jerome something. He was actually at the place. He was what they call a voter monitor. And there was this one Democrat carrying a bunch of ballots around with her. And he's like, why are you carrying those ballots anywhere? They're supposed to go in the box. And she wouldn't tell him why. She says they're provisional ballots. We don't have a provisional ballot box yet. And he's like, well, then you guys need to get a provisional ballot. You need to stop carrying those ballots. You need to put them in their box. She acted like she was mad at him because he was watching her carrying those ballots, because she could have done anything with him. She could have thrown him in the trash can when he wasn't looking, you know, or somebody wasn't watching her. And then in the very end, towards the evening when the polls were closing, okay, the polls were closing, he watched them take a bunch of ballots, stack them up, and take them with him. He's like, hey, what do you do with those ballots? Those are unused ballots. They need to be destroyed before you leave the building. They didn't destroy them. They took them with their car. And he goes, I'm going to get a hold of the authorities right away because they are not supposed to be taking those leftover ballots into their car because who knows what they're going to do with those leftover ballots. They can fill them out and try to throw them in, you know, the main primary. They can fill them out and cheat. And these were Democrats taking the ballots home with them. They weren't supposed to take them home. They're supposed to put them in they're supposed to destroy them and destroy them right there before they leave the building. But they were taking them with them. So he contacted the authorities. So I don't know what happened on that part. He contacted the authority, and I guess that it was in the news that they did catch Virginia cheating, and it was all filmed, and it was all on the Democrat side. The Democrats were trying to steal the election, and that's just. It's bad. It's why do they have to try to steal the election? Stop. Do it right. They're so afraid they're going to lose everything that they're trying to cheat. And it's like, and they're getting caught. They're getting caught. That's why mail-in ballots are no good because I got one. If I have to go up, I'd have to find it. But they found a postal worker who was Democrat throwing a bunch of ballots in the trash can that were Republican. Put them in the trash can instead of sending them in so they can be counted for Republican votes. So your mail-in ballots aren't cheap unless you're a Democrat because that's what they want. They want the Democrat ones to get in, but the Republican ones they want to throw away. But I don't know, you know, it's crazy, Mom. It's just a little crazy. But you know what? The Bible says we have to go through all this terrible time before Jesus comes. But I hope it's not this next 4 years. I want at least 4 more years, you know, of good time before we go to before we go to bad time. You know what I mean? So I'm just hoping we can stay red this year for at least 4 more years. You know, after 4 more years, if something goes bad, you know, there ain't much we can do. You know. But I'm just hoping we can stay red 4 more years. 4 more years, all red.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, and because Antifa and Black Lives Matter leaders, they're Democrats are paying him to destroy and riot and kill people, and that's just wrong. Murder's wrong. Especially when a 1-year-old child gets shot, you know? A 1-year-old child got shot, and it was in a Democrat state, and the guy's not getting arrested. He got released because they didn't want to put him in jail because of COVID. It's like, what? He killed a child. He should be in jail for a very long time, not released the next day.
Where did the 1-year-old get shot at?
It was New York, I believe. I believe it was New York or Seattle. One of them. But I already showed you. It might have been Seattle. I'm not sure, but I'll have to go look it up. And then there's the one that here that says Howard, a man accused of killing an 8-year-old. That happens in Seattle. And I posted that to you. But anyways, an 8-year-old got killed at a barbecue, and they released him because of COVID. Or he didn't spend no time in jail, really. And that happened on the 4th of July. He killed somebody. Or around that time. I'd have to look for the 1-year-old.
Oh, here, 1-year-old shot.
Brooklyn, okay, New York. Brooklyn, New York. That's a Democrat city, Mom. If you look at every single Democrat city, the big ones, Seattle, New York, they're all the ones that are having the crimes. And you even got a Democrat mayor in Missouri. That Democrat mayor needs to go. because she's letting rioters take over in St. Louis. But it's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah. It's just crazy, Mom. Why you target a 1-year-old? It's stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. I don't care if you're white, black, brown, pink, purple. You don't be killing kids. The child did nothing. The child did nothing. Yeah. All right, Mom. I'll talk to you too. I'll probably go to bed myself. Take a pill and go to bed. Guess what? I've been drinking this. They got these in 2-liter bottles now. You see what I'm drinking? Tonic water where? 2-liter bottles. They got them in. Yeah, and it's 2-liter bottle. Country Mart. $1 something. So. Yeah. Good. All right. Talk to you later. Love you. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Hey guys, sorry I was talking to my mom, so I had to show my mom a bunch of stuff, and here I was screaming. So you guys probably got a bunch of other shit in this stream. Let's go back to Battle Pirates. My mom called suddenly, and I was had to talk to her about stuff. And I forgot about my stream. 32,004. Okay. Let me see if I can find. Get to work, Mel! Wash the dishes! Wash the dishes! Wash the dishes clean! Scrub your boyfriend! Scrub your boyfriend! Scrub your boyfriend's skin! prizes. I guess this is what I need here, I guess. I'm gonna hit this target, guys, and then I'm probably gonna head to bed.